Tantric is an American rock band from Louisville, Kentucky. The group was founded in 1999 by former Days of the New members Todd Whitener, Jesse Vest and Matt Taul, and Hugo Ferreira. Altogether Tantric has released 6 studio albums and 1 EP. Tantric, After We Go, The End Begins, Broken Down, Live in the Poconos, Mind Control, 37 Channels and Blue Room Archives. Tantric released their latest album Blue Room Archives on September 30, 2014. Lead vocalist Hugo Ferreira is the only remaining founding member left in the group. Formation: after leaving Days of the New in November 1998, guitarist Todd Whitener, bassist Jesse Vest, and drummer Matt Taul reached out to Massachusetts native Hugo Ferreira in early 1999 to see if he would be interested in starting a new project together. The former Days of the New members had previously met Ferreira during a tour and admired his distinct baritone voice. By March that year, the four had their first practice together upon Ferreira's move to Nashville. The band started under the name C14 but soon changed their name to Tantric. With the help of friends in Louisville radio, the band quickly gained local exposure. During an interview, Ferreira commented on the band's formation saying, "We were managed by the same company at one point when I was in a band called Merge and they were in Days of the New. We knew each other and actually toured together a little bit. I was ready for a change, and they got fired from the Days of the New gig and were looking for a new gig too. I came down and sang with them, and it was real natural. Everybody got along really well, so we were like, hey, we should probably call this something. We called it C14, which was the original name of the band. After that we decided to come up with a better name. Tantric 2000 2003. By late 2000, Tantric's demo caught the attention of Maverick Records, who signed them that same year. The band quickly began recording their self-titled debut with producer Toby Wright in Nashville. The album was released on February 13, 2001. It spawned 3 singles: Breakdown, Astounded, and Morning. The album debuted at number 193 on the Billboard 200 chart. It eventually peaked at number 71. By mid-2002 the album has sold over 600,000 copies. It would later go on to sell over 1 million copies, achieving the platinum status. The band went on a headlining tour in early 2001, then went on tour with Three Doors Down and Lifehouse from April to August of the same year to support the album. The band also toured with Kid Rock and Creed to support the album as well. The album is Tantric's most successful album to date. In June 2002 the band contributed the song Cross the Line for the NASCAR Crank It Up compilation album. After We Go 2003 2005. After a frustrating recording session and pressure from the label, Tantric released their first single Hey Now from their second studio album titled After We Go on December 9, 2003. After We Go was released on February 24, 2004. Toby Wright came back as the main producer for the album. The album debuted at number 56 on the Billboard 200 chart but quickly lost momentum. 3 singles were released from the album, including the lead single Hey Now, followed by The Chain, and After We Go. The album has gone on to sell over 200,000 copies. Faring well, citing that many copies of the album were illegally downloaded off the internet. After We Go would be Tantric's final release for Maverick Records. Tantric 3 2005 2007. In 2005, bassist Jesse Vest left the group, wishing to spend more time with his family. He was replaced by Bruce LaFrance through mutual friend and touring band member Kevin McCreary. With Elliot Blakey in the producer's chair, Tantric worked on the follow-up to After We Go, tentatively titled Tantric 3, and scheduled for a May 2006 release. The band finished over a dozen songs for the album, such as People, Worth Waiting For, Stay With You, Locked Out, and Whitener's lead singing performance, July. Complications arose in March 2006, when Tantric parted ways with Maverick Records, which itself was collapsing. In 2007, Matt Taul was arrested on drug-related charges, which would further complicate the band's obtaining a new label. Finally, on May 8, 2007, The release of 3 songs from Tantric 3 on the band's MySpace was largely overshadowed by Todd Whitener's farewell announcement on the band's website, which cited a feeling of stagnation that caused him to grow tired of the band's struggle to succeed. Ferreira later said in interviews that Whitener, as well as other members of the band, had grown frustrated with the band's record label complications. Taul was sent to prison in later months, but has since been released. Bruce LaFrance was working with Whitener on a side project, called Interchange, and Ferreira's state-of-the-art side project, which eventually became the new Tantric. LaFrance opted out of state-of-the-art, staying on with Whitener. To this day Tantric 3 remains unreleased, but some songs have since leaked, being able to find them on YouTube. The End Begins 2007 2008. Disappointed but headstrong, in late 2007 Hugo Ferreira began searching for new bandmates. He enlisted former Fuel drummer Kevin Miller and, through mutual friend Nuno Betancourt, Dramagods bassist Shred King Joe Pescia. Eric Lenhart would become bassist, and Marcus Ratzenboat rounded out the new Tantric lineup with the electric violin. Shortly thereafter, the band announced their deal with the independent label Silent Majority Group and their new management company JHMP. Because Ferreira remained the only original member, Tantric 3 had been shelved. Ferreira has said the reasoning for this, other than the logical label complications, was he did not want to produce an album under the Tantric name that was partially written by Whitener and Taul. With the indefinite shelving of Tantric 3, Ferreira and his new mates recorded 10 new songs, in addition to a totally revamped version of the one featuring Kevin Martin of Candlebox that was originally intended to be on Tantric 3, and finally released Tantric's third album titled The End Begins on April 22, 2008. Its lead single, Down and Out, gained radio success and strongly exhibited the band's new violinist. On January 13, 2009 the band re-released The End Begins with a digital deluxe edition. The deluxe edition included an acoustic version of Down and Out, and the newly recorded version of Fall Down, which was intended to be released on Tantric 3. Since its release the album has sold well over 70,000 copies. Mind Control 2009 2013. After touring in support of The End Begins, drummer Kevin Miller departed and was replaced by Richie Monica. On March 9, 2009, Tantric announced the recording of their fourth album. Mind Control was released on August 4, 2009 and marked the dismissal of producer Toby Wright in favor of former touring Creed bassist Brett Hessler. Though spawning 2 singles, Mind Control and Coming Undone, the album lacked success and did not fare as well as their previous albums. Coming Undone peaked at number 31 on the US mainstream rock charts. Mind Control would be Tantric's last album on their label Silent Majority Group. Tantric embarked on a fall 2009 tour supporting Shinedown, which lasted September through November. On November 23, 2010 Hugo Ferreira released a cover of the Christmas song Carol of the Bells digitally in the iTunes Store, making it the first and only time to date that Ferreira released music under his name and not Tantric's. Tantric remained relatively quiet from the fall of 2010 throughout the first half of 2013. Ferreira announced in late 2010 that he had started gearing to start writing and recording for a new album. The lineup changed consistently throughout the time frame, but Ferreira did recruit members to play with him to keep Tantric touring. 37 Channels 2013 2014. On July 17, 2013 it was officially announced via Pavement Entertainment that Tantric had signed to their label and would be releasing their fifth studio album titled 37 Channels on September 17, 2013. Hugo Ferreira remained the only sole member on Tantric at the time of the album's recording and release. Hugo recruited Austin John, Shooter Jennings, Leif Garrett and David "Tubby" Mouser for guest vocals on the album. Kenny Olsen and Kevin McCreary was brought in to do the lead guitar on the album. Scott Bartlett, Hugo Ferreira himself and Johnny Kaye was in charge for secondary guitar on the album. Kevin McCreary was in charge for the rhythm guitar on the album. Gary Morse was in charge for the pedal steel guitar on the album. Greg Urfchurch and Emmanuel Cole was in charge for drums on the album. John Abel and Hugo Ferreira himself was in charge of bass on the album, and Hugo played the piano on the album himself as well. In an interview with Music Junkie Press posted on the August 27, 2013, Hugo Ferreira revealed that he did all the writing and musical production on the new upcoming album titled 37 Channels himself, except where noted. He stated it was his ultimate baby and that he was fully in charge and saw every aspect over the record. He also stated it took him over 3 years to completely get the record finished. He also revealed in the same interview that he waited till the album was 100% done before signing to a label because he did not want the record company in control of the record's sound or style. Ferreira also revealed he wrote 116 songs for the 37 Channels album, and cut the recording process down to 19 songs. The album faced fairly well reviews, debuting at its peak position at number 24 on the US Hard Rock Albums charts. Soon after the release of the album in the fall of 2013, Hugo recruited drummer T.J. Taylor, bassist Scott Wilson and guitarist Derek Isaacs and went on to tour in support of 37 Channels. Since then they have become official members of the band. Blue Room Archives 2014 Euro 2015. On August 1, 2014, the band announced on their official Facebook page that they would be releasing a new album called Blue Room Archives on September 30, 2014. The album will contain 7 previously unreleased songs that were spanned throughout the band's career and newly recorded acoustic versions of their 2 biggest hits, Breakdown and Morning, along with 2 new remixes of their previously released songs, Mind Control and Fall to the Ground, totaling 11 tracks altogether. The album will be released via Pavement Entertainment. To help promote the album, the band is offering pre-orders that are signed by frontman Hugo Ferreira for $20 USD. The offer ended on September 1, 2014. The band revealed the title of the album came from the band's home studio that they named the Blue Room. Lead vocalist and frontman Hugo Ferreira comments, "This isn't so much a premeditated album, but a collection of music I have done that I always loved extremely but never found a place for. It's songs in their purest form, no flashy production or elaborate theme. Imagine it as a mixtape of songs I wrote or co-wrote that stand alone uniquely. An inside view of the other side of a tantric state of mind." On August 28, 2014, the band released the first single off the album titled Cynical via SoundCloud. Blue Room Archives was released on September 30, 2014 as planned, making it the release of their 6th studio album. Tantric announced the Blue Room Archives tour shortly after the album's release. The band will be playing many shows, headlining and supporting throughout late 2014 and 2015 in support of the album. New upcoming 7th studio album 2015 Euro present. On April 29, 2015, Tantric posted on their official Facebook page that they hope to be releasing a new album later this year in 2015. The album will be the band's 7th studio album and 2nd album under the new Tantric era. On June 2 and 3, 2015, Tantric posted 2 new songs on their Reverb Nation page. The first song was titled I Can't Feel, and the second song was titled Fool. On June 16, 2015, lead guitarist Derek Isaacs announced his departure from Tantric after a year and a half with the band. Tantric released another new song titled Nowhere via Reverb Nation on July 12, 2015. The song is a departure from the new Tantric sound they have had on their previous 3 studio albums and more of an original Tantric sound. On July 28, 2015, Tantric announced that Arizona-based guitarist Tommy Gibbons has joined the band to fill the lead guitarist role. Gibbons was introduced to Tantric by the band While She Waits. On November 12, 2015, Tantric announced that Mike Smith will be joining them on their up-and-coming tour as their drummer to replace T.J. Taylor. According to Tantric, Taylor left the band a few months before, like Derek Isaacs. There is so far no confirmation if he will be a permanent member of Tantric. Discography =albums =, studio albums =, extended plays =, singles =. Musical style: Tantric is often categorized as post-grunge and is known for its emphasis on acoustic guitar, distorted electric guitar, and multi-layered vocal harmonies. However, due to their heaviness, the band also fit in well during the early 2000s peak of alternative and nu metal. In their early career, Tantric was frequently compared to Days of the New, from which its original guitarist, bassist, and drummer derived. However, the group also gained strong comparison and in some cases, criticism to grunge forerunners Alice in Chains. This is by no means coincidence. Famed record producer Toby Wright, who handled Tantric's first 3 albums, also produced 2 Alice in Chains albums as well as the solo debut of their principal songwriter, Jerry Cantrell. Wright is known for emphasizing multi-tracked vocal harmonies and other characteristics demonstrated in both bands. However, since the departure of all but Tantric's vocalist from the original lineup, as well as the inclusion of electric violinist Marcus Ratzenbock, the band's musical approach has evolved. Songs predating Ratzenbock's inclusion in Tantric have since been performed live with violin, and the altered backing band has provided a shift in musical direction. See also, Live and the X Lounge, a charity album to which Tantric contributed live performances. References. External links, official website, Tantric Discography at Discogs.